wasn't involved. The jury heard opening statements Wednesday in the trial of Sean Grayson, who's charged with murder in last year's shooting death of Sonia Massey in her kitchen. Prosecutors say the shooting was unjustified. Grayson reportedly plugged his ears as body cam footage was played in court. And a private investigator says he's identified who last drove the Tesla where 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez's body was found. The car, linked to singer David, was abandoned in Hollywood. Surveillance footage has been turned over to police. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's the World Series. These players live forever. Watch baseball at its finest. The World Series, presented by Capital One. Major League Baseball, trademarks, user permission.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For some reason, the Clippers are not ready to start the season. Last night at Utah, they played like a team with 8 players on their roster over 30. The Clippers had 7 turnovers in the first quarter, gave up 78 points in the first half, trailed by 31 at halftime, and were down by 37 in the second half. The troubling numbers added up to a 129-108 loss in the Clippers season opener. It was the worst loss for the Clippers in a season opener in 17 years. They need a revival in a hurry before Friday's home opener against Phoenix. The Lakers are back in action Friday night. They're at home against Minnesota. The Dodgers flew to Toronto Wednesday to get ready for the World Series. Game 1 is Friday night at 5 p.m. local time. HBCU Southern University fired head football coach Terrence Graves. Southern is 1-6. Offensive coordinator Fred McNair will take over for the rest of the season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
You ready?
You're invited to the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair on Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Catch at Audubon Middle School in Lamert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Join us for a day of health, healing, and community connection. There will be health screenings, immunizations, wellness information, a Catch Charter School recruitment fair, plus music and healthy snacks. And it's all free at the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair, Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Audubon Middle School in Lamert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Come out and bring the entire family. And if you have not yet checked out our KBLA Health and Wellness Hub, you should at KBLA1580.com. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks Catch Charter School, Prudential, Eastside, Cedar Sinai, and St. John's Community Health. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that a healthy community is a thriving community.
That's right, baby.
Let me tell you about this girl, maybe I should. I met her in Philly, and her name was Brian. See, we be making love constantly. That's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. The way that we kiss isn't like any other way that I be kissing when I'm kissing. What I'm missing, won't you listen? Brown sugar, babe. I guess high up your love, I don't know how to be.
That's D'Angelo, and I'm still in my feelings about his passing last week at the age of 51, but it's good to hear his voice. His corpus, his catalog is so deep. His legacy will live on in his music. Love me some D'Angelo. In this hour, as promised, 2 conversations on the B-side. Sean Patrick Thomas, who played the character Jimmy James in Ice Cube's Barbershop trilogy, comes in studio to talk about his new role, playing a character named Polarity in the series Gen V on Amazon Prime. So Sean Patrick Thomas comes in studio here in about 30 minutes on the back side of this hour. We commence this hour, though, in conversation with former Assistant U.S. Education Secretary Diane Ravitch, who I've had the honor of talking to many times over the course of my 30-plus year career. Her new book is called An Education, How I Changed My Mind About Schools and Almost Everything Else. Let me just read for you very quickly here a description of what's in this text, and we'll let Diane unpack it for us. For many years, I think it's fair to say that Diane Ravitch was among the country's leading conservative thinkers on education. The cure for what she deemed as ailing the school system was clear. Diane Ravitch believed, I know this because I talked to her many times, she believed that high-stakes standardized testing, national standards, accountability, competition, charters, and vouchers were the answer to the prayer, as my grandmother might say. Then Diane saw what happened with these ideas once they were put into practice, and she recanted then her long-held views. The problem was not so much bad teachers or failing schools, as conservatives claimed then and still claim now, but poverty. She denounced privatization, did so on my program, as a hoax that did not help students and that harmed the public school system. And she has urged action to address the root causes of inequality, hence this book and education, How I Changed My Mind About Schools and Almost Everything Else. Diane, it's been too long. How are you?
Well, Tavis, it's great to talk to you. I am fine, and I'm very happy to be on your show. Thank you so much.
I am delighted to have you on this program. So tell me about the backstory of this text, and then we'll jump inside it.
Well, I've been wanting to write this book for a long time. This is a memoir. It starts with, I was born in Houston, Texas on July 1st, 1938 at 12:01 a.m. That sentence has been in my head for years and years. And I wanted to tell the story of how I firstly was a liberal in Texas, I thought, and then I became quite well known as a conservative writer and published in lots of conservative magazines. And about 15 years ago, I began to think I was on the wrong side and looked at the evidence and changed my mind about a lot of things. So that the big story, the title of the book I wanted was, I went from being conservative to being woke. And I'm one of the few people who says publicly now, I am woke. I defend critical race theory. I defend being woke. And because to me, what that means is caring about other people and having compassion for those who need and supplying whatever it is they need. As I say in the book, I don't want to live in a country where people die on the street because they can't get medical care. I don't want to be in a country where people go hungry and starve to death. That's just wrong. So I would like to see a much more compassionate and fair country. And early on in the book, I say, all these folks who are calling themselves Christians are not representing what Jesus says in the New Testament. And Jesus was compassionate and caring and kind and loving, and they're everything but. They're the opposite of all of those things.
George Bush coined this phrase. I think it was George Bush. I'll give him credit for it, George W. Bush. But is it possible to be a compassionate conservative?
Well, I think theoretically it is, but in these days, it's not. The people who call themselves conservatives are actually anarchists. They're tearing everything apart. They're destroying programs that feed children, feed adults. They're destroying the Department of Education, which does a lot of good things. And it's basically an anarchist government that we have, because you see department after department, program after program, like the program for kids with special needs, that's going to be turned over to the states. And the states can then use it for vouchers and charters and to further destroy public schools. I think that's anarchist. I don't even think of it as conservative. Conservatives are supposed to be about conserving and tradition. And traditions are out the window with this crowd. They're all about money.
Here's what I want to ask Diane, and I will when we come forward. Watching the clock here, it wouldn't be fair to give her 90 seconds to respond to this question. It's going to take a little bit more time than that. But given what you've just heard about her own backstory, I shared some of it with you myself, given our conversations over many years, and you heard Diane in her own words about where she was born and what the metamorphosis, the change that she went through. What I'm curious about, as I'm sure you are as well, is what animated, what brought about this metamorphosis? I say all the time that people eventually wake up because they see the light or they feel the heat. I'm not sure if either of those applies to Diane Ravitch, but I am curious about what brought on this metamorphosis. She's on the right side now, as far as I'm concerned, and I mean right in small r, not political, political right. She's on the right side now, but I'm fascinated, as I'm sure you are again, about what brought about this metamorphosis, why this change. We'll let Diane Ravitch explain that as we come forward, talking about her book in education, How I Changed My Mind About Schools and Almost Everything Else.
From Leimert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
Donald Trump has all but declared war on California, sending in the National Guard, blocking disaster relief, and cutting funds to our colleges. And now, he and Texas Republicans are trying to rig the next election by stealing congressional seats from black voters in states like Texas.
They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides.
Seriously, look it up. But Prop 50 is how we fight back. It gives Californians the power to fight fire with fire and beat Trump at his own game. Prop 50 creates temporary emergency congressional maps that level the playing field and protect the power of black votes. Not just in California, but across the country. Your vote matters, and the whole country is counting on California to lead. So use your vote to protect our power, our history, and our future. Vote yes on Prop 50 by November 4. Ad paid for by Yes on 50, the Election Rigging Response Act, Governor Newsom's Ballot Measure Committee, Ad Committee's top funders, HMP for Prop 50, and Fund for Policy Reform.
Is your loved one at the hospital or in a nursing home? Have they developed bed sores, fallen, or worse? These are things your family members should be protected from. Bed sores, falls, and dehydration are almost always the result of negligent care. If this has happened to your loved one, call Zoran at Basic Law Group at 800-215-1234 or visit basiclawgroup.com. The consultation is free, and if they don't win, you don't pay. That's 800-215-1234.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Diane Ravitch, former U.S. Assistant Education Secretary, now out with a new book called An Education, How I Changed My Mind About Schools and Almost Everything Else. Diane, you laid out moments ago part of your journey with regard to your thinking on issues of education in this country. What brought about this metamorphosis?
Well, I have to say, Tavis, that I tried to keep an open mind. I looked at the evidence, and first thing that I realized was that standardized testing was not actually identifying the smartest kids, and that it was actually hurting kids and hurting schools. And I had believed in standardized testing since I was in school, because I went to a regular public school. I had high test scores, and I thought, well, it picked me out. It's good. But it wasn't all about me. What I saw when I was on the National Testing Board, I was appointed by President Bill Clinton. And what I saw was that the kids who came from the wealthiest homes had the top scores, and the kids who lived in poverty, who didn't speak English, who had special needs, they always scored at the bottom. And no matter what subject was tested, and no matter what test it was, the kids who had the least had the lowest scores. So they were really stigmatized and marked for life by their test scores. And I looked around the world about me and I said, well, I wonder what Michael Phelps's test scores were. Like, who cares? He's a great swimmer. Simone Biles, what were her test scores? Who cares? You know, she's a brilliant athlete. And there are people in the arts and there are people in all kinds of lines of endeavor where your test scores are irrelevant. And I realized that the main thing that test scores do is reward you from coming from a affluent family. And since most Black kids and Hispanic kids are not coming from affluent families, they're stigmatized from the outset, and it's not fair. And I go on at length about why I gave up on the test, but I also gave up on privatization because I saw that it was failing. And I had been a strong supporter of charter schools. I testified before the New York legislature in favor of them. I belonged to several conservative right-wing think tanks advocating for school choice. And then as I saw it put into practice, I realized this is a big hoax. The charter schools are no better than public schools, and public schools are being defunded. And some of the charter schools were run by people who were just out to make money off kids. And the rate of closure of charter schools was phenomenal. Something like 25% of them that opened would be closed within 5 years. So charter schools are not an answer. They're just a way of draining money away from public schools. And even worse, they're a step towards vouchers. And vouchers are horrible because most of the people getting vouchers now, most of the kids getting vouchers never went to public school. The states that have adopted vouchers, like Florida, Ohio, Indiana, North Carolina, they've taken the income limits off so that rich kids are being subsidized in their private schools. And most of the kids who get the vouchers are already in religious schools and in private schools. And I'm not against people exercising school choice. I just think that the state shouldn't pay for your private choices. This would be like saying, I don't like the community swimming pool. I don't want to go to the beach. I want a private pool and I want the government to pay for it. No, if you want a private pool, build it yourself. If you want to send your kid to religious school, that's fine, but don't expect your neighbors to pay for it and the taxpayers to pay for it. So all of this was like an awakening for me. And I think that race had a good deal to do with it because I had thought as growing up in Houston that, you know, it was terrible to segregate kids. And I grew up in a segregated city, segregated school district. The school district fought against the Brown decision, as did most Southerners. And I thought, I don't know, why is it that we're not following the Supreme Court order? And I thought at that time, and I was very young, that the best response to racism was colorblindness. And it took me a long time to realize that colorblindness actually is a way of maintaining the status quo. That if you're opening up college admissions and you say, I'm not going to pay attention to the color of the kids, well, you've got these test scores that are determining whether they can get in, and the test scores themselves are biased by family income. And the tests, I think people don't understand this, tests are scored on a bell curve, and a bell curve is designed to have 50% below the median and 50% above the median. And that means there'll always be kids at the bottom, and those kids will be disproportionately from families that are poor, which means that the kids who are kids of color and kids with handicaps don't have a chance. So I thought this is all a rigged system. I mean, the very nature of standardized testing is that it's rigged against those who are at the bottom. This was an awakening for me.
No, I didn't want to interrupt. You were on a roll, and you laid that thing out beautifully, so I'm glad you got that all out. It helped. You answered the question with great detail, which I deeply appreciate, as does the audience, about how this metamorphosis came to be. Let me just go back to two things you said right quick here, watching my time. Number one, no naivete here, but since you went there, how much of a role does money, put another way, greed, play in this entire education process?
I think that right now we're in a very bad way, in that our society has more wealth inequality and income inequality than it has had ever in its history. I believe in having a fair society where everybody has a chance, where there are not these huge gaps between those at the bottom and those at the top. We never had hundreds and hundreds of people who were billionaires, and the top 1% has as much income as the bottom 50%, and that is grossly unfair. I think it plays a role in schooling, and it's one of the reasons why I get very angry when I hear people say our schools are failing. Our schools are not failing, but our society is. I mean, our schools are the path to opportunity if they're equal in terms of their resources and having small class sizes and certified teachers. And instead of building up the public schools to be equal, conservative and Republican governors are turning over billions and billions of dollars to religious schools where teachers don't even have to be certified, and where most of the money is going to the haves, not the have-nots.
Speaking of our schools not failing, but our society failing, somebody should get that message to Donald Trump and Linda McMahon at the Education Department. Speaking of Linda McMahon, let me just play some sound from her. I don't need to explain this. Take a listen to the clip, and we'll talk to Diane thereafter.
Our goal is really not to be punitive necessarily, but to have universities, I think, return to what we all believe that universities really started out to being. And that was, it is a place for truth seekers. It is a place for open debate, sharing of ideas, of learning. And I think that's what we need to have on our campuses without really directing ideology that is being taught. And as we're training our teachers for future generations in these colleges and universities, if they are teaching ideology instead of fact-based learning, that's just wrong. We ought to teach facts. We ought to teach critical thinking. We ought to be teaching all of those things at our universities, and at the same time, so I'm being repetitive, welcome open debate and sharing of ideas, and that all students should feel free on campus to walk about and to not be punished if they have different ideas than other students on campus. I think we've lost our way in that, and especially our elite universities, who really are the ones that are focused on the most. If they can be that bright and shining example for that, we would have accomplished an amazing amount in this short time that we have to focus on our universities. So that would clearly be my goal. I know it is certainly the goal of the president.
So you hear that clip, Diane. Of course, she's talking about colleges and universities, but the part I really wanted to get to with you is her suggestion, her statement, in fact, that our goal is not to be punitive. Our goal is not to be punitive when it comes to education in the lane that you're talking about it in your experience. You buy that argument that she and Trump are not trying to be punitive?
That everything she said was a lie. I mean, you'd have to pick it apart line by line to say it's all a lie, because they don't want, first of all, they should recognize that we have the greatest higher education system in the world. And places like Harvard and other Ivy League colleges, but also University of Virginia, University of Texas, Vanderbilt, all of these top universities have programs to, first of all, encourage Black and Hispanic students to apply and to give them a fair chance to get in and to get a great education. And we've seen the results of having affirmative action programs. That's another area where I've really turned around. Affirmative action has changed our society. I mean, we now see Black professionals in every arena of life, and that's because of affirmative action. And it didn't mean, I mean, the Trump administration thinks that if you have any programs to help people who are not white, that therefore it's DEI and we have to get rid of it. I think we should have more DEI. DEI has made our society a far better society than it was 30, 40 years ago before there was DEI. I mean, what they have completely turned civil rights on its head. They believe in protecting the rights of white males, and that this is the most discriminated group. Let me just alter that and say white Christian males. And this whole business about punishing anti-Semitism is ridiculous, because their administration is filled with anti-Semites. They almost appointed a guy to one of the top positions in the government who had a record as expressing admiration for Hitler.
That's right.
So this anti-Semitism thing is a red herring. But I think that the bottom line on higher education is they are being very punitive. They're taking away research money for science and medicine that helps everyone. and saying, if you don't get rid of DEI, we're not going to fund you. That's terrible.
Yeah. Since this book is a memoir, I am curious as to what happens over a period of time, period of years in your case, when you go from being conservative to woke, to quote you earlier, what the title of this book might have been, when you go from being conservative to woke over the course of your career, when you have been, my phrase here, a darling of the conservative consortium on education, what happens to your relationships, to your friendships? How are you regarded or not regarded by all those persons who thought of you as a colleague?
Well, the bottom line is that I lost a lot of friends. You know, what happens is that you tend to be with people who agree with you, and when you do, you're surrounded by people, or at least I found myself surrounded by people in think tanks and friendships who shared my views. And as I became more critical and distancing myself from my conservative views, they said, "Oh, you know, you're just being silly, and you'll get over it." And I tried to, on a couple of occasions, to quit some of the conservative think tanks, and they said, "No, no, stay on, because we love to have you as a dissenter. It makes our conversations more interesting." And then when I finally made my final break, and I said, "I'm out of here. I don't agree. I don't agree with the things that I've been advocating." My friendships just went away, and I had to develop new friends. And it's okay, because you know what? I want to live in integrity, and I want to live where I can face myself in the mirror and say, I'm on the right side of history. I feel right now that I'm on the right side of history, because we're going through a period right now where all of the progress made since the civil rights movement is being rolled back. And to be on that side is on the wrong side, and I don't want to be on that side.
Yeah, I think this is my exit question, Diane. Just watching my time here. So, given the journey that you have endured all these years as an activist on behalf of public schools, what action do we take in this moment to address the root causes of inequality in education?
Well, under the current federal government, we're going to see terribly destructive things happening. And at the moment, we can't stop them because they control everything. They control all the levers of power. We can act up as we did on No King's Day, and they just ridicule it and put out a video of Trump dumping feces on people who oppose him. But I think the activism has to get stepped up. And I think particularly parents have to stand up for public education, because public education takes everybody. The voucher schools and the charter schools can pick their students and can exclude the kids that they don't want. They might exclude kids because they're the wrong religion. They might exclude them because they have disabilities. They might exclude them because of their race. I mean, all the civil rights laws are being turned inside out, and we have to fight against this. I think the first chance we have to turn it around is in 26, when there's a chance for Democrats to regain control of the House, possibly even the Senate. This man must be stopped. He is destroying not only our society, but the White House, and disrupting the global economy. Inflation is up, and people's rights are being stripped away on a daily basis. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done, and I want to encourage people to get involved and act out.
Yep. There are a lot of people who are supporting this book. I want to just read this one because you know that Randy Weingarten, American Federation of Teachers, has been a frequent guest on this program, and she writes of Diane's journey and of this book. Diane Ravitch is telling of her remarkable journey from a child of working class immigrants to one of the most vital national education treasures and leaders, tells us so much about her unwavering support for public education and its role in our society. That would be beautiful enough, but the second thrill is how she brings her curiosity, an essential trait we nurture in students, to question her own views and change her mind. The result is this clarion call to protect and strengthen public schooling in America as the foundation of our young people and our democracy. If you care about the future, read the book, says Randy Weingarten. I would just add that I enjoyed getting inside the text and learning more about her journey, her childhood in Houston, her years in the New York intelligentsia, her service in government that I was aware of, and mostly her leftward turn. I appreciate the book. I appreciate the conversation. Diane, good to have you on. All the best to you. Thank you for your time once again.
Tavis, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
The pleasure is always mine. Trust and believe. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Due to the government shutdown, at least 25 states plan to halt food assistance on November 1st.
So we're going to be watching that week very closely to see if we have an influx in demand or new clients that need help.
That's Camille Teal, who runs Caring Community Friends Food Pantry in Oklahoma. She says the impact could be devastating for millions relying on SNAP benefits. Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett said she strongly consider a Senate run. U.S. Weekly reports she leads early polls to challenge GOP Senator John Cornyn, but she's waiting on a court ruling over redistricting that could reshape her district. And Delaware State University trustee Tetra Shockley Esquire will participate in the Miss USA 2025 pageant. Not only will she represent DSU, but she'll proudly represent all HBCUs. The special event takes place on Friday. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's the World Series. These players live forever. Watch baseball at its finest. The World Series, presented by Capital One. Major League Baseball, trademarks, and inclusion.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For some reason, the Clippers are not ready to start the season. Last night at Utah, they played like a team with 8 players on their roster over 30. The Clippers had 7 turnovers in the first quarter, gave up 78 points in the first half, trailed by 31 at halftime, and were down by 37 in the second half. The troubling numbers added up to a 129-108 loss in the Clippers season opener. It was the worst loss for the Clippers in a season opener in 17 years. They need a revival in a hurry before Friday's home opener against Phoenix. The Lakers are back in action Friday night. They're at home against Minnesota. The Dodgers flew to Toronto Wednesday to get ready for the World Series. Game 1 is Friday night at 5 p.m. local time. HBCU Southern University fired head football coach Terrence Graves. Southern is 1-6. Offensive coordinator Fred McNair will take over for the rest of the season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Pick up the drum.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Tavis, Smiley with a final word here about the upcoming Left Coast Forum on Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. As you know by now, our major keynoters include Professor Richard Wolff and Dr. Cornel West. LA Mayor Karen Bass will be there as well. But listen to some of these plenaries: fighting for black students and educational equity, resilience under Trumpism, how to stay sane under fascism, the battle for democracy, what's at stake in 2026, healthcare under attack, fighting Trump's cuts, and building patient power from seed to system, building a local food economy in South LA, theater as a force for change, voices from Palestine. The Constitution is not self-reinforcing. Racism on the left, building communities of care, federal changes and their impact on healthcare in LA County, Committee for the First Amendment, and more. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
It is the Tavis Smiley Show, and I'm glad to have you tuned into our program today. What a great first 90 minutes, and we're going to turn to entertainment for the last 90 minutes. 3 great conversations with guests today for the rest of the way. We start with Sean Patrick Thomas, who played the character Jimmy James in Ice Cube's Barbershop trilogy. He's currently playing a satirical superhero named Polarity in the series Gen V on Amazon Prime. Miles, give it to me.
Hey, look who it is. Then remember, alive and in color. How you been, Kyle?
Polarity.
I mean, last time we saw each other, it was, the Vaught Summertime Clubhouse, right? Limp Bizkit was playing. I just joined the faculty. I'm the new Associate Dean of Marketing, and my TA and I are doing some research into Thomas Godolkin.
Well, that's good for you. You're not on the list to access the archives. And actually, the last time we saw each other was May 21st, 2005, 3:36 p.m. at a casting office across from the Sherman Oaks Cheesecake Factory. The audition was Area 51. You were sporting a high-top fade and doused in Calvin Klein obsession, and you told me that my preparation H had leaked to the back of my Salmon Banana Republic chinos right before they called my name.
Jesus. Sorry, what a I was.
All right. First of all, I was saying to Sean Patrick Thomas when he walked in the studio that he had me with the name of the character, Polarity.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
If I complained, I'd be in great. I'm doing well and delighted to have you in studio, for starters. So tell me about this name, Polarity.
Well, I mean, it's 2 things.
Yeah.
It speaks to his power set. You know,
Mhm.
he's able to manipulate magnetic fields, But on top of that, it's kind of like an entertainment name, like Madonna or Sting or Prince or something like that. It's kind of like a public-facing persona that he puts on as a superhero.
So tell me about Gen V, the series.
Gen V is a satirical take on the superhero genre, basically. It's like, what if regular, ordinary, flawed people had superpowers, and how would that manifest? So regular, normal people, they have the greed or selfishness or whatever it is that they have. And what if people who had those characteristics actually had superpowers? How would that play out? And so this is set at a university. So these are young people who are just learning about their powers and how their powers work. Yeah. And so it's a coming of age thing, really, combined with a superhero tale.
Yeah. Has that genre, superhero genre, satirical drama, satirical lane always fascinated you, interested you? I'm just. Did this just happen, or is this something that you kind of willed into your existence?
Honestly, I've always been into any superhero stuff,
Right.
whether it's satirical or not.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about,
So you're a Black Panther fan?
no doubt,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
doubt,
yeah,
no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah,
So I'm all about that superhero, epic tales. Whether Shakespeare. I grew up, came up in the game doing theater and doing Shakespeare and stuff like that. So and any grand epic tale is something that turns me on.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder. Let me do it this way.
Okay.
Every one of us, I think, and I didn't always believe this, but I believe that every one of us in real life, we humans, we Homo sapiens, I think we do have a certain kind of superpower. If you feel me on that.
Yes, I do.
We can't do magic.
Right.
We can't fiat things.
Uh-huh.
But I believe we have our own version of what a superpower is.
Sure.
If you believe that, what's yours?
You know what? Yeah. My superpower is extremely thick skin.
Okay.
In this sense.
Yeah.
I think we live in an age where we're bombarded with everybody's opinion and everybody's judgment and everybody's, but you should do this or you should have said that, And for some reason, none of that affects me. None of that bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't hear it. I don't feel it. And I find that it affects most people.
Yeah.
Most people allow themselves to be swayed or affected by other people's noise. And I'm kind of impervious to that. And if I have one, that's what it is.
Did you grow that? Tell me how that. Have you always had that?
I think I'm inclined that way, but I made a conscious effort to be even more that way as I got older.
Tell me more.
Because I didn't like the dynamic of allowing other people to dictate how I felt about myself or how I felt about anything, to be honest with you. I wanted to be the final judge and jury on me, And so I made a conscious choice to decide, you know what? Nobody else's opinion on me matters more than my opinion.
Yeah.
And then I just keep building on that.
It seems like such a mature point of view, and it is. And this is getting good. This is getting rich for me. So
Okay, good.
We're going to keep going here.
Let's do it.
I find this fascinating, Sean, in part because we live in a world where everybody seems to care
Right.
about what everybody else thinks.
Right.
It's the whole notion, to my mind, behind social media.
Right.
We all want those likes.
Hey, look at me. Look at me.
You feel my point?
Yeah.
As my friend Cornell West says, we like peacocks strutting around.
Right.
Look at me, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me. And Cornell says all the time, Dr. West says, peacocks strut because they can't fly.
Aha.
But we walk around strutting, saying, look at me, look at
Got
me.
it, got
And I think that's in part behind the social media, phenomenon.
Yeah.
People are posting stuff all the time, and we're all guilty of it.
Sure.
But we're posting stuff trying to get those likes.
Right.
We want people to see us.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, there are two sides to this. Because part of the human condition, to my mind, I don't want to get too deep here, but I know you can handle it.
No, go
but
for it. Go for
part
it.
of the human condition for me is that we all want to be loved.
Yes.
I want to be respected.
Yes.
We want to be admired. We want to be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
We want to be affirmed.
Yes.
Whether you admit it or not, that's just part of the human condition.
Of course.
So there's nothing wrong with that on the one hand.
Right.
But this notion of look at me, look at me,
Right.
look at me,
Right.
caring about what other people think.
Right.
I've said before in speeches about economics that too many of us, I'm talking about black folk now, too many of us buy stuff we don't need with money we don't have, trying to impress folk we don't even like.
Right.
It's
Right.
all about what other people think of
Right,
us.
right.
So it's a mature point of view to have, and yet I find that so many people haven't arrived where you are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the thing is? All those things you said are true. Like, we all want that type of acceptance and acknowledgement.
Sure.
There's no doubt about that. But the difference between wanting it and liking it
Yeah.
and needing it,
Yeah.
two different things.
Mhm.
If you need it and if you depend on it, to me, you make yourself weak.
Yeah.
You make yourself very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And open to be manipulated or letting somebody else dictate whether or not you're having a good day or a bad day.
Yeah.
Which, I can't do.
See, what fascinates me more about this now, because now we're in a lane that I know well, obviously, this entertainment, Hollywood lane that you and I occupy in different ways, of course. But this business sort of breeds that.
It does.
It breeds this notion of being liked by people.
Yes.
It breeds this notion of I'm nothing if I don't have a role.
Correct.
If I'm not acting.
Right.
So I'm trying to juxtapose how you came again to that very mature and adult viewpoint about yourself and about the way you want to show up in the world while you're in an industry that seems to, endow us with feelings that are different than that.
Right.
If that
right.
makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, it's honestly, it's an act of self-preservation.
Yeah,
because
I like that.
when you're in a business like this, you're going to hear no 99.9% of the time.
That's right.
And if you take that in every single time, you're going to feel like nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to reinforce yourself. You have to build yourself up every single time.
Yeah, yeah. How are you going about? I'm going. Since you're here, you know I got to talk about barbershop. Everybody loves barbershop,
no doubt.
And Cuba's my boy.
Okay,
we'll talk about barbershop and play some sound here. But how are you going about choosing your roles these days?
You know, for me, it's a combination of speaking to what's going on in the times right now, and also just something that's fun.
Yeah.
You know, I need to have fun.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why I love doing Gen V, because what we're talking about, what we're doing on this show, is really a direct mirror of what's happening in society right now.
In what way?
Well, obviously, in terms of the rise of fascism.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we're dealing with, you know, a buffoonish, clownish, cruel wave going across our country in terms of the leadership coming from the White House, and that's directly paralleled on Gen V, because we're living in a world that's kind of being dictated by a cruel, ignorant buffoon in Homelander, in the mothership show The Boys, and so the way that plays out is very similar to the way it's playing out in real life.
Yep. The show's called Gen V. It stars Sean Patrick Thomas, our guest right now on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
On Thursday evening, November 6th, you're invited to the next KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Town Hall meeting. This time we're convening at Victory Bible Church, 1497 North Hill Avenue in Pasadena. The town hall will once again be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580 from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th. But you're invited to join us in person for this urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is Understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at kbla1580.com. That's kbla1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers and the Black Freedom Fund.
The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 27th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. Join us Saturday, October 25th at the Writers Guild Theater, 135 South Doheny Drive in Beverly Hills, California. The showcase will feature over 20 films by emerging black male filmmakers from across the country, ready to let their stories be seen, voices be heard, and visions come to life. Saturday, October 25th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale now on eventbrite.com. For more information, call 323-957-4656 or email bherc@bherc.org.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
He's a paradigm pioneer. are the top-rated African-American talk show hosts in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and Sean Patrick Thomas, who plays Polarity in the satirical superhero series Gen V. But so many of us know him and love him from a lot of his work. But that Barbershop trilogy was something else. So tell me what. A couple questions about this.
Sure.
How has being in that trilogy, which is on TV every day somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
You will never get away from that.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay with your character.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
How did that impact, change your career or the way your fans see you and regard you?
Well, first of all, it was the first time I ever had done a comedy on film.
Yeah, you're the Shakespeare guy.
Yeah, I'm exactly right. So to break out of that lane and show that I can hang with funny people, and do funny stuff was a great opportunity. Yeah. And I also took it as a challenge because when I first was reading the script and heard about the movie, everybody told me, don't do that movie. Don't do that. Don't do Barbershop. Don't do Barbershop. And I was like, why? And they were like, because it's just Friday in a barbershop. And I thought, no. It's more than that. It's different than that.
Yeah.
And I love the character.
Yeah.
And so I thought this could really be good.
Yeah.
And I was very excited about it.
To your mind, what did in fact make it different than Friday in a barbershop, if that's the claim or the advice you were getting?
Right.
To your mind, what made it different? Put another way, what made you ignore that advice and accept the role? I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
All your fans are. But what made you accept that? There's something there.
Well, I think that it just has a lot of heart. It's really about the community. That movie. It's about the people in the community.
Yeah.
And there's something about that I think everybody could connect to. Also, it was a really, to me, brilliant ensemble.
Yeah.
I mean,
agreed.
You got Cedric the Entertainer,
Agreed.
Michael Ealy, Leonard Earl Howes. I mean, we all worked together very well. Like we rehearsed. Like the director Tim Story, like he had us get together at a barbershop not too far from here, a barber school, and we spent a whole day learning how to cut hair together. And so little things like that I think add up and add texture to what you ended up seeing on screen.
Yep. I've said this before on this program. I am fortunate to have been friends with Sidney Poitier. We had lunch
my
together.
hero, my icon.
Mine too.
Yes.
We had lunch. I'll make you jealous then. I'll make you jealous right quick. We had lunch every other Tuesday for like 20-something years.
Really?
Yeah. One of the great joys of my life. Poitier told me many times, and Denzel, who I'm friends with as well, D and I are cool. D has said the same thing to me. So these are two of the greats, right?
Yes.
And both of them have said to me that their careers have not been so much made by the roles that they took, but by the roles they turned down.
No doubt.
They said, Tavis, if you knew the stuff I turned down, I might not be whatever they think I am.
Right.
You feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, as black actors, we all have different things that we're willing to do or not willing to do. And there's certain roles that I won't even read for.
Yeah.
There's certain types of genres of film that I won't even do.
Yeah.
I won't even think about or talk about, no matter how much I need to work. Because sometimes you take a job because you got to pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills, yeah. I get it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But even in those times, there's certain genres of film, there's certain types of characters that I just refuse to do.
Yeah. I asked that question in part because of that advice that somebody gave you
Yeah.
not to do barbershop.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
right.
that came to mind. Our remaining moments with Sean Patrick Thomas when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Sean Patrick Thomas. Sometimes the best part of this show, as I say oftentimes, happens during the commercial breaks. So I mentioned Portier and Denzel, and Sean said something. I slapped my head. You said what when I mentioned Denzel?
That I worked with him about 10 years ago on Broadway in a production of Raisin in the Sun.
And I totally slept that. I mean, I totally did not make that. I saw you on Broadway in that production.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just a play. It was like a rock concert.
It's an experience, right?
Every single night. Because of Denzel Washington, it attracted crowds that weren't just there to see a play. Like they were there for a moment, for an event, for a life experience, And so it was, every night was just like a raucous thing. And we had amazing people. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama came, and we had Supreme Court justices and, Robert De Niro. Like every night it was just somebody like, oh my God, And it was because everybody came to see Denzel Washington.
Sure.
So it made the whole experience very exciting.
Yeah. What did it make you appreciate, though, about not being in the same kind of fishbowl? You're in your own fishbowl.
Sort of.
The same kind of fishbowl as Denzel.
Well, the thing is, when you're a guy like Denzel Washington, like we were just talking about, everybody's coming at you all the time. Like if you step in the room, like everybody's staring at you. And there's got to be something about that that's overwhelming and very difficult to deal with. And I would definitely feel like, in my case, I'm glad I don't have to deal with it to that degree, because it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The amount of attention that he attracts.
Yeah, I say all the time, be careful what you ask for, right?
Yeah.
And having interviewed all these people over the course of my career, I can tell you that I got my own fishbowl. You got your fishbowl.
Yeah.
You get enough of it as it is.
Sure.
There ain't nowhere in the world
right.
that I would ever want to be Prince or Michael Jackson or I don't want none of that, man.
You know what
It's just
Denzel
too
said?
much.
You know what he said once? I heard him say, if you pray for the rain, you got to deal with the mud.
That's Denzel. That's him.
That's what he says.
Yeah, he has so many. We spend time with him. He has all these great one-liners.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's one of them. Right?
Yeah.
And the other one he says all the time. He says, "Man gives." He said, "Man gives the award, but God gives the reward."
The reward.
That's
yeah,
Denzel.
yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
you heard that too.
Yeah.
Man gives the award, but God, you talk to him long enough, you're gonna get a bunch of.
Absolutely.
That's how he is. I love that about him. It's called Gen V. It's on Amazon Prime. Stars Sean Patrick Thomas. I'm delighted to have you on this program. Next season? New
I
season?
hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, right now we're waiting to hear about a season 3. I'd be shocked if that did not happen, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, from your mouth to God's ears.
Yes,
we
yes.
pray for season 3.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in, man. You're welcome back here anytime.
Hey, man, I love being here, man.
I appreciate having
much
you.
respect to you. Been watching you for years.
You are kind. I feel the same way, man. I just feel stupid. I mentioned Denzel and forgot you were in the play together, man. But it was an amazing run.
Thank you.
And I loved it. Sean Patrick Thomas, good to have you on the program.
All right, brother.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580.